let's say Singapore or China. I'm sorry, I don't
Oh,
know.
go ahead.
Okay,
You,
so
what you're
in the
speaking about is so interesting that we decided to record it.
okay, as an American, you have to still pay the taxes if you're a citizen, U.S. citizen. If you're not, then you don't, right? Because you as a U.S. citizen, you still have to pay. But also you're saving the local tax in there, right, in Singapore. So that's one of the benefit that you will do. But there's a lot of other differences. Like for example, I had a tech company owner in New York who's in bases in Taiwan.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, there is no tax treaty between these two, US and Taiwan, but there is a tax treaty between China and US. So she was getting like almost like her 5 years due to the new administration came in. Um, so she decided to take our dividend, which was almost $100 million. So we had to come up with an idea where if she would have really taken the way she would have taken from the company to her own bank account, it would be costing her a fortune. Like she'll pay almost 31% withholding tax. We came up with a state planning to protect all of our U.S. Assets. We call it U.S. suites, and basically didn't pay no taxes. We had to do a lot of estate planning, then create LLCs under that, and then basically transfer that as a gift. And gift rules are different if you are foreign citizen. So to answer to your question, there's a lot of nuances, and you have to look the whole 9 years, right? And that's why we are coming. Like we want to take your entire perspective, not just taxing, accounting as well, because you have to see how your let's say you have an accounting team in your company, how they're doing stuff, because there could be a transaction the way they booked it, and if you didn't disclose that, that could be a taxable if it wasn't coming to us. So we take a look at that entire perspective and then do the architect. So I always tell people, look, it's an art and science, right? You have to come up clean. It's like a lawyer, right? You murder somebody, you will still have to tell them, look, I murdered them, but then we'll find a way to minimize the situation. So, but it only can happen if I can have the entire exposure of your books business, so then I can say, okay, this is where we can do and stuff like that. So that's why I think Singapore, and so does Dubai, did that. So we do have a lot of clients in Dubai, and that's one of the beauty that they made it tax-free money. So you're not really making tax money over there. And then there's another, residency, like prior to this administration, when Biden administration was here, a lot of you guys may know, like a lot of these rich people went to Puerto Rico, right, to save taxing. And it wasn't really that much. There's a lot of hiccup. We had a couple of clients ending up paying a lot of penalties, a lot more taxes, but there's a lot of situation by situation, case by case.
Hey, Shibito, I just kind of bring it up. We may, and we're working with, so through Anita Fiopsi, one of the guy, John, that was, he goes to Dubai, he travels around from
Right.
Puerto Rico. We're actually doing a project now because of the hurricanes to reestablish the grants to
Uh-huh.
rebuild affordable housing. So we're all discussing this ever since COVID and interest rate hikes, everything
Right.
got destroyed. And I'm
Right.
actually going to Puerto Rico. So maybe we all get together there to speak about it because we are raising funds to restart the project, renew all the grants to
Right.
develop it. And Khalid, I'll let you speak next because we're going to be building all the modular homes to solve one problem, still being on U.S. territory soil, so we can then ship the modular without tariffs to the U.S. And we all know with all the crazy stuff with insurance with Florida, still a booming market. So Khalid,
Sure.
if you but Shabrito, I'll reach out to you because a lot
Absolutely.
of our clients, I understand exactly what you're doing, and our clients are doing this, moving things
And
around.
also there's a lot of OBB has a lot of tax exposure. So all those interest that you are paying, they're gonna be all kind of not like you can take deduction there. So they're basically obsolete. Like you're not gonna have, you will be able to offset that against your profits. So that's an art like you have to do, like just like tariff, right? How you offset that tariff. There's a lot of way, like you have to first disclose that earning, then you have to deduct it. So there's a art and science in there.
Well, we want the best artists and scientists so you
Right.
can craft it. And the
Yeah,
ultimate result is saving taxes and less headaches and audits. We don't want
true.
those.
And you want to save the money, right? I mean, with the one big beautiful with the real estate industry, that's exactly what they did. They put a cap in the interest, but there's other section came in, like you can basically amortize them, and then you can actually get those they get those deductions. So you have to, and there's like at least like five different sections in the IRS code that you have to use. And you can actually, the way I was looking at it, the code, I'm like, okay, he's from real estate world, so that's exactly what he did. Basically, you are double dipping your expenses and making more profit. So in any industry, the interest expense and all those things is really, you're leaving money on the table if you're not really hiring the right people.
And so, that's not always how much you make, but by using what the government allows with tax incentives, structuring, like
Right.
art and science, we
And
need the
then
best one.
Right, and we're in all those like yesterday I was telling somebody because in San Diego they're trying to build, and they are thinking of that opportunity zone and the one big beautiful bill, and I'm like I'm not sure if you're gonna really get that because it also goes by income quality and stuff like that. I'm like incomes are so high over there, you're not gonna be able to get that much in one big beautiful bill. Opportunity zone is not as extensive as the other administration, but there is, but you have to find the right way. Probably like, if you see the New York City or that area, um, the mayor is different, so I don't know how much that will help, but it works in an underdeveloped or, if in a hurricane affected area, there's definitely FEMA and all those. You have to look through that and see what IRS did for it.
Excellent. Saputo, if you can put your LinkedIn, I definitely want to
Sure,
catch up with you on projects. But
sure,
Khalid,
absolutely.
yeah, kind of going from Puerto Rico next door, right, to Florida.
Right. Good morning, everyone. And it's nice to see that a lot of you were involved in some of the organizations that I was involved here in the local Orlando chapter. For example, Firebachi. I served as a president of ARIA also a couple of years ago. So that's probably where we crossed paths 3 years ago, in fact. And I've been a member there for the last over 12, 13 years, ever since it was formed here, the local chapter. So those are all great. Oh, Firebachi also, they had a chapter here which they merged into Miami now, from Orlando. So these are all great organizations to get involved. And so coming back to the housing sector here, we've seen a major demographic shift in the housing market, especially locally here. And that is, for example, the median age for your first time home buyers is now 40. Compared to when we were growing up, we used to be about 32. When we got our first job, the first thing we thought of was, hey, we want to buy a house and get locked in and have our own house and settle down. Unfortunately, that is no longer the case. Secondly, there has been a shift in affordability. When you talk about affordable housing, it used to be something for about 100,000, somewhere around there. But now affordable housing means something which is in the $300,000 range. And that has shifted construction into basically townhomes. So we saw a big boom in building of townhomes in the last 2 or 3 years. And now we're seeing a major glut where prices of townhomes have fallen up to 25% in the greater Orlando area. So some great opportunities here in Central Florida right now in terms of investment in the real estate business, and with the political uncertainty and the economic uncertainty that is there, Central Florida here has some really great opportunities, and they're giving a lot of incentives. Just to give an example, what kind of incentives there are, they have what they call the Live Live Act. So the government, if you get qualified, you don't pay sales tax on the building material that you're using to build. Then you also get interest-free loans to build, etc., etc. So the government is encouraging to have some more affordable housing, which is the number one issue, economic issue in Florida.
Khalid, well, thank you for being with Aria and FIAPSI and so many of our friend services. But you're right, that's how we always cross and connect. But
Mhm.
again, thank you for that. And Lauren, if you don't mind, do you want to share what you do as a lawyer? I think the only one here, and international business, and maybe with what you're doing with your fractional CFO and everything that you put together.
Thank you. So just to clarify, not CFO, anything but fractional CFO. I do all the other fractional stuff. I'm not a CFO.
Okay,
But
sorry.
thank you. I wish I
Everything
knew
else.
numbers. I would love to. But James, thank you for the introduction. I'm Lauren Cohen. I'm originally from Toronto. I live in South Florida, and I help companies expand and grow across borders, mainly inbound to the US up until recently. And now I help them expand internationally, no matter where they want to go. But the problem is that when they want to go international, or when they want to expand, or they want to raise capital, they don't really know how to do it, and they don't have the right structure or the right legal elements in place. And so as an international lawyer and business strategist, I created this fractional business that does everything but CFO. So we help with the infrastructure, the strategy, the strength, the organization, the systems, all the back end stuff and the front end stuff, as well as curated connections and, of course, legal services. So it's basically hiring a C-suite of experts at a fraction of the cost. And we help companies at any stage of growth or transition. Hi, Doug. Nice to see you. And I really love what I do, and I'm all about global, and I love the Global Chamber. So thank you.
Lauren, sorry about that. So now I understand. You did that, and I know Todd Billings did the fractional
That's right.
CFO.
Exactly. Yes.
So I think you guys joining forces, boy, you
Yes.
can take it all over.
Correct. Yes. Todd is actually just down the street from me.
Perfect. Well, he moved. He moved now up to Charlotte. Yes. So you got to visit him up in Charlotte. But
That's funny. I was just in Charlotte the other day. Good friends of mine moved there too. Maybe it's a sign. I don't know.
Well, definitely welcome, reconnect with everyone. And that's what we love to do. Ellen, I don't know if you're well enough to just say a couple words to say hello, if you're able. Ellen? Maybe not. She's got to rest. Doug, I just want to pass it back to you. If there's anyone else, I know could be some other people that are members, or I don't know if they're speaking from the Global Chamber part. But if you want to let me know if anyone else that we should introduce, because I know their camera's not on.
Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to, I'll do that. And thank you everybody for joining. I just following up on some of the things I heard. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late because I was actually talking to Jeff Pappas, who some of you know with Newmark. You know, one of the things that I realized with Newmark is that we actually work with a number of their people around, including, I think I copied Ellen you on the information. I forget the fellow's name in Vancouver, but he may have been at the conference that we did in May from Newmark. And then I found out that there's a Newmark person involved with us in Chicago. She's on the District Export Council there. And then I also found out that one of our members, Colliers, the lady who's with Colliers, who has led that part, moved over to Newmark. And so she's on our Phoenix advisory board, Carrie Scott. So she's now staying on the advisory board in Phoenix as a Newmark person. And I'm working with the Colliers person to weave them in as well. Speaking of Puerto Rico, the Festival of the Diaspora is something perhaps to have on your radar screen. It's in March, I think 21st. It's on the Global Chamber website. Let me see when it is. March 13th through the 15th. This is something that's very international. It started in 2022. Global Chamber's been supporting it all 3 or 4 years. I'm sorry, I can't do the math. I guess this is probably the 4th year, right? Or 2026 might mean the 5th year, I think. But nonetheless, it's a group of people. The chairperson is a fellow named Jevon Hodge, who some of you may know. He is a politician, but he's also a very globally minded leader. His mom is a city council person in Tempe, Arizona, and he's just an amazing guy. Knows Dr. Sanjeev Kagram really well. He's on our advisory board in Phoenix. He's the chairperson this year for the diaspora. Also, a company called Factum Global, which is a longtime member of Global Chamber. They are on the board. Francisco Gomez, who's the founder of Factum Global, is part of that. And so Cesar Trabanco, our Cesar, I think will be part of it again this year, since last year it was in Colombia. This year it's moved back to Puerto Rico. And so if any of you are interested in that, go to the Global Chamber, March 21st. You'll see there's not too much posted out there yet on our calendar, but you'll see the Festival of the Diaspora. And I think it's not only a great way and a good excuse to go to Puerto Rico, but it's a great group of international leaders that are part of that conference. And so I recommend that. While Khalid, if you have questions or thoughts about that, let me know. I just was kind of doing a quick roundtable. Khalid is still here, right? Khalid?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, there
Yep.
you are. Thank you. So one of the things that we learned and maybe we've already talked about this here, but one of the things we learned in Vancouver was about the cricket stadium project up there, and you're very involved in the cricket stadium kind of dynamics and the development of that in the United States. And so thank you for your leadership there and understanding on that. I did have a chance to talk to Tony Mangat, who is an Indian investor and a very entrepreneurial global leader. He made his original fortune in logistics, selling tires, for instance, and importing tires into the U.S., a lot of things like that. And then he invested in pickleball early on. And so I know, Jim, you know pickleball really well. From
Yes.
Orange County. And so Tony made his next fortune through that and warehousing and some other activities. And so he then became very interested in putting a world-class cricket stadium in Phoenix. And that apparently, and I guess I heard more from you, sorry, I heard more from you, Khalid, about that. Probably the Phoenix one will move forward, but one in Houston maybe, or one up there in Washington State that Ellen and I heard about could move forward. But this goes back, I think, to the really interesting angle and why Jim and Ellen bring us together, bringing together economic development and real estate and business and the intermix of that. People like Tony, people like you, Khalid, who are involved in all areas. There's this intersection of really fun activity, and I just wanted to spotlight that if anyone is interested in the cricket side of things and the sports side of things, Khalid, that's one of his of many different involvements in the community. Thank you for being such an amazing leader.
Thank you.
I think I heard Paula and I heard Shupto. Thank you for the call out and the shout out. You're amazing. He's on our Global Chamber San Francisco Advisory Board. And I think I heard Rhonda, right? Rhonda was speaking earlier. I don't think I heard Anita.
And Doug, we have somebody new that popped in. Vilma just popped in. Lopez.
And Vilma's she just renewed her membership. And welcome, Vilma. And you're in is it Central or Southern Florida? Where are you, Vilma?
Yes, I'm in South Florida, but I am kind of switching between two states right now. It's nice. It's great to be back.
Fantastic. Thank you. Tell us a little bit more about what you're working on and how we can support you.
So I am a real estate broker in Florida and also in North Carolina. And I work most every area of real estate, from investment, buyers, seller. But one of my passions is our global real estate community, that we can work together to do referrals and learn from each other as well.
Appreciate it. What types of properties are going to be interesting for you in 2026, and how do you see the market?
I would be interested in multifamily, and I would be interested also in helping incoming um, international professionals who are transfer as doctors, students, and they really have it hard when they move from one country to another. I have been helping some in South Florida with a university called Nova, and also I'm doing the same thing at North Carolina with Duke University.
Vilma, we got to connect you with Daniel Chang, who spoke once at our event. He brought in so much Chinese business, 200 Chinese businesses, what he brought into Raleigh and the Carolinas, and more businesses coming. So you should connect with him too.
That's great because my office in North Carolina, I am the only Latina. All my colleagues are from the China region.
Perfect. No, I'd love to connect you. He also went to Duke. He left being a professor to go into real estate because he said, I can make more money doing that than a PhD as a professor at Duke.
James,
So
could you also connect me? I literally just answered a call from a guy who was referred to me to move to China. He said he's blind and he wants to live the rest of his life in China, which I gotta say, that's the first time I ever got that request, but everywhere else, but most people come from China here. But if you could please connect me back. I remember that guy, I just don't have his contact. Thank you.
I will connect you both. And maybe that's the thing
you.
from Florida. Everyone's kind of going to the Carolinas anyway. And
Hi,
Davia,
Vilma.
yeah, Davia, I saw you kept popping in and out. If you want to say a couple words, I want to make sure everyone that pops up on the screen gets to speak.
Yeah.
Davia?
And if you don't mind, what's going on? Sorry, that was my problem. I'd like to introduce Divya. She's a new member of Global Chamber. She's based in India. She's headed and she's building her HR services business mainly in Europe. And we have a conference actually today in Greece. The visa process did not work as quickly as we had wanted. So we're going to have to miss that particular Global Chamber event with Divya, but she's still headed to Greece, and there's a number of other countries where she has both business and growing interest. Probably zooming in from India today. Welcome, Divya. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Divya Ramasamy, and I am the founder and managing director of the Human Resources Global Gateway. We focus on blue collar and white collar. Our company is specialized in connecting skilled blue collar and professional workers from India with business across Europe. We manage end-to-end recruitment, visa support, and work permit facilitations, ensuring a smooth and all the process for both employers and employees. And thank you so much, Mr. Doug, giving this my opportunity. I'm new Global Chamber member, upcoming member, not new member, upcoming member.
Very, very good. I encourage you, and I'll find her LinkedIn information on Divya. There's an H in there, so we got to make sure she's new, relatively new in terms of her profile on LinkedIn. I'll post it right now. If you could give her a little bit of a boost as she's building her profile. She is looking to grow her business, and as she mentioned, a lot of what she does is get India-based labor to be able to be used in Europe for a variety of different businesses. That was one of the things I was learning from Jeff Pappas in the call and why I couldn't jump in right on time. Newmark has a variety of resources in India that they use for his work in creating the reports that his clients need on labor in different markets. And so when someone comes into Ghana, as an example, and they want to know what's the labor situation and what's it going to cost me to do business in this country, a lot of that data for Newmark is generated in India, and then the reports are distributed. I don't know, Jim, how do you normally do stuff like that?
Well, I'll tell you, because of Global Chamber, and we invited one of our group, the Cyril group, that's in India, that used to be part of Jeff Finn's group of NAI. They connected with Jeff Pappas, and now they're starting to do research and information in India. So, Divya, we can kind of connect you with them. And they have this global network to plug into Europe and others. I know the US, we're kind of off limits a little bit for a little bit, right? But hopefully things calm down. But the rest of the world is kind of still open. So happy to connect in India with our group. And Jeff, through Global Chamber, that's how they met. And they're starting to do business with research.
Thank you. And we are looking for the study abroad also in all over world. If it is any possibilities to US or Japan or European countries, we wanted to supply the students also. We are looking as well as manpower equipment and study abroad.
Perfect. And Guy is in the UK, so you should definitely connect right there. And then everyone just connects through Doug. Doug kind of will know everyone or Cesar, so it's fantastic. But I know
has Christopher Phillips spoken yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
And I have to say, I'm a new member and I've been in other networking organizations. This is on a totally different level than anything that I have ever seen. The caliber of people and the caliber of the conversation is just amazing. And as I mentioned, I'm a global English coach, and is especially accent and pronunciation. And so there are lots of people here that I would love to connect with, who are dealing with foreigners either moving here or doing sort of deals here. My whole business is an international business, and it's so great to see real estate people who are usually I think of as being terribly local. This is international real estate, so I feel like I'm in Disneyland. It's fantastic. So thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's a testimony, Jim, to your great English speaking, is what he's saying.
I just love the good people. That's how it is. It's all the people collectively together to make it fun, right? Otherwise, everyone's been around. If we don't make it fun, but hopefully with Globy and also Doug with Recess, I got them to connect to create something for us that now we can start referring business and deals, building a community with a billboard, so we can kind of put information share. But I definitely want to use Globy to use the AI technology so it could be connecting us quicker than just our weekly meetings. But our thing is we keep improving, but we improve with the core of better people, good people. So thank you, Chris, and everyone, because that makes us feel good that our time spent is well worthwhile. Doug, do you want to close this out? I know we always try to end on 5 minutes before the hour to get ready for the next meeting.
I miss Ellen, and I really want you, Ellen, and we all want you back and healthy, and looking forward to our conversation. It's been a real pleasure to get to know you from the Vancouver event that you pulled off so brilliantly. Just one quick addendum to all of that. What Ellen started, sometimes the butterfly wings on one side of the world end up being a tsunami on the other. So Ellen developed a relationship with David Hyun, who was a sponsor for that event in Vancouver. And I happened to meet him on the way walking to the train station to get out to the airport. And I was fascinated by his story of how he developed the Japanese Village Plaza in LA. It was a great presentation, and I told him that. And so he and I now have developed a relationship. And as Jim and Ellen know, we all met at Fogo de Chao in Beverly Hills, and he treated us to the most expensive lunch on the menu. It's like we didn't need to choose. He said, you don't need to choose. Just take, you're all going to get the most expensive, which included like a lobster tail, and it was obscene. It was fantastic. But fast forward, he wanted to do something for Thanksgiving. So he donated to Global Chamber, which I donated directly to Nepal, and our person who started Global Chamber Kathmandu, Bishal Dahal. And with $100, Bishal had 2 meals. He provided art supplies for a group of disabled artists. And now he also is creating the Kathmandu Museum of Fine Arts demonstration of these disabled artists' work. at the museum with $100. And so, Ellen, look what you started with your relationship with David Hyun and all the different things that have transpired. And I think that's, a testimony to all of you and your leadership, and certainly the platform that, Jim, that we look to create here so that we all can be that butterfly that creates a positive tsunami somewhere else in the world. Thank you, Jim, for your leadership, because your leadership, not just here, but on the global board of Global Chamber, has been really invaluable. Thank you.
Well, Doug, thank you. And it's because of the people. One thing I've always said is having good people around, you want to show up. If the people you don't want to be around, trust me, we all been around enough. We show up because of each other. So I just want to thank everyone for being back now after Thanksgiving. Everyone be safe out there through the holidays. And we'll probably do one or two more before we take the holiday break, Christmas break, or Diwali and everyone's break, right? That's coming up. I got to remember. Oh, Anita, you have something to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody tomorrow, Thursday, the 4th of December at noon Pacific time is the monthly, which we moved up, Export-Import Forum. I will be interviewing Professor Roberto Ancis, who is amazing. So even if you're not involved in import-export, feel free to sign up and join us tomorrow.
Perfect. Anita, thank you for your leadership, because everyone should volunteer and plug in to Global Chamber. It's the more you put in, the more you get out. So again, thank everyone. We'll probably be around two more times, but any suggestions, please always reach out so we can make this community better for everyone. And definitely, I'm going to connect with each one of you, especially in the Carolinas and within India. But please connect, reach out. My QR code's there too. But looking forward to connecting with everyone personally. And let's build our community together. Everyone have a great day and a great week, and see everyone next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Jim. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, James.
Bye.
Have a nice
Thank
week.
you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.